If you watched my previous videos, you'll know that I tested positive for COVID-19 and that I had COVID-19 with some pretty severe symptoms. But let's have a little chat about the COVID vaccine and my thoughts on COVID-19. Let's do it. So, I was ill with COVID-19 for about 2 weeks, like 9 days or so. It was pretty bad to start with, but the symptoms soon went. So my thoughts on COVID-19 are basically, I mean, it's like a flu. You're basically getting the flu. It makes you very tired. It clogs your chest. You're going to cough. It's going to be a dry cough, a sore cough. Now, there's some people in the conspiracy or alternative community will say they don't believe COVID-19 is even a thing. Personally, I believe COVID-19 is a real thing. Definitely a real thing. From my experience of being ill with it and testing positive for COVID-19, it wasn't something that I'd experienced before. It did feel similar to a cold, like a really bad cold or like a flu, except that the chest was totally dry and very sore to cough. Difficult to fill your lungs. Like even now, I still find myself once in a while having to force myself to kind of draw enough air into my lungs. It's a strange sort of thing. So I think it definitely is a real thing. But I do feel that the government have almost like weaponized COVID. They've weaponized this disease in a way to get control over the population. Now, I know a lot of people will say that's just craziness, but or that I'm a conspiracy nut for even voice and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're saying stuff like that, you're probably just a drone who believes everything that comes out of the government's mouth. And I mean, obviously you're following the science. You're believing a doctor rather than some guy on the internet. But you know, that's fine. You do what you like. But personally, some government paid doctor or scientist or a pharmaceutical company employee hasn't got my best interest at heart. I'll tell you who has got my best interest at heart, and that is me. Boris Johnson, the government, or the government of any other country, because they're all united in this bullshit. None of those people have got your best interest at heart. And if you think they do, you're a nutter. Basically, why on earth do you think that Boris Johnson or any other government leader in the world would give a toss about you staying healthy or not catching COVID, which it's not going to kill you. COVID is not going to kill you. I mean, the statistics show that. I mean, even if you believe in the actual official figures, which I don't, the likelihood of you dying of COVID-19 are just so remote. It's just, it's absolute lunacy that we've shut our whole society down for this disease, which realistically is nothing. It's mad. It's total madness. Like I say, I did have it, and I do believe I had it, and I was poorly, but I mean, come on, it's December. People are going to get ill with things like this, like with this kind of respiratory problem, you know. You're going to get colds and stuff like that. And then anyway, I just can't get my head around some people who will just believe anything that the government say. I mean, personally, I don't believe anything the government say unless I can see that it's happening, unless I can see for myself that it's true, if that kind of makes sense. But taking the government or the mainstream media at face value, no, absolutely not. I don't even understand. I can't even put myself in the position where I would do that. Like, I can't think like somebody who hasn't got any critical thought. Like, I think it must be a crazy way to live if you're one of these drones. That's the only way I can describe these people, like NPCs. You're one of these guys who just believes what you're told. Why would you? Why would you ever think that Boris or, like I say, any other political leader, why would you believe that they care about you, about your family? They don't. They couldn't give a monkeys at all. So yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is COVID is real. COVID has been exaggerated by the government to control society, basically, to stamp their authority on us, to start bringing in that fascist authoritarian state that all governments want. you have to ask yourself, are the government working for our best interest? I mean, it doesn't feel like it to me. And at the end of the day, the government are supposed to work for us. I know that's bullshit, obviously, because they don't work for us at all. They work for the whatever agenda it is that they're being dictated. And no, I'm not some absolute lunatic New World Order sort of conspiracy guy. I did used to be. But I do think that like corporations, large financial institutions, like basically what people call the 1%, they are clearly in the shadows. They are clearly directing this stuff. Tech companies out there are controlling what you can and can't see on the internet. I mean, just have a look at the fact-checking bullshit on Facebook and stuff like that, where you've got some, I don't know, some 23-year-old Democrat person deciding which news you can see about the Donald Trump election, for example. Well, I say the Donald Trump election, the Biden election in America. I mean, I don't give a toss really about Trump or Biden. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're both cheese dicks. But anyway, it's definitely tech companies are definitely controlling what you can see and what you can't see. There is censorship out there. If you don't think there is, again, you're crazy. And there will be lots of censorship regarding what you can and can't see about the COVID vaccine. So if we have a little talk about the COVID vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine as they call it, I would say Pfizer vaccine. I grew up in Germany, I speak German. This guy, this company is an American company, but it was founded by a German, like two German people, I believe. I had a quick Google about it, and they were called Pfizer, which is how you would say that name in German. Pfizer, not Pfizer. I mean, maybe that's what the company is called. I have no idea. I've never actually heard it spoken other than on the news, but I would say Pfizer, but I'll probably use the two interchangeable in this thing. But I mean the same thing, the Pfizer vaccine that's being rolled out in the UK. Will I take the vaccine? Will I? Hell, I will not take the vaccine. The only way I would take that vaccine is if you pinned me to the floor and forced it into me, basically, which seems unlikely, but not impossible the way things are going. And let's just be clear here, having concerns about this vaccine does not make you an anti-vaxxer. This vaccine's been rushed out. I don't give a toss what anybody else says. In my opinion, this vaccine's been rushed out. And no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but there are plenty of academics, scientists, doctors who, and NHS heroes, you know, who will oppose this vaccine, who aren't for the vaccine. There's a Facebook group, in fact, of a bunch of NHS workers who have joined this movement not to be forced into being vaccinated. But questioning this vaccine or the validity or the safety of this vaccine does not make you an anti-vaxxer. It does not make you a conspiracy theorist. It does not make you a lunatic. It doesn't make you some sort of like a COVID-idiot, as the actual COVID-idiots like to say, you know, the guys, the kind of drones who will go out there and they will put a face muzzle on, you know, to make sure that everybody knows that they are complying with Big Brother. You know, oh yes, I am one of the guys. I am happy to accept your authority over me. I will wear this useless face mask, which is not going to stop. It's mental. You are mental if you're going out there with this and you actually think that that's like some sort of statement that you make and that you are part of the in crowd, you know, that you're part of it, you're part of the crew. We know, we are the real experts here. We know what we're doing. We will wear our face mask with pride. Back to the point. No, I won't have the vaccine. No, my wife has said she won't have the vaccine unless she's forced to have the vaccine. I mean, for her job, for example, she's, I don't know what I should say. But anyway, so yeah, so she doesn't want to have it. She doesn't see why she needs to have it. I don't see why she needs to have it. But the only way she would have it is if it was forced on her. But then, even then, I mean, we're trying everything to get out of it. My son, will he have it? Nope. Why should he? He's 11 years old. Even if he gets COVID, he'll be fine. And then, aha! But you'll be happy not to take the vaccine and go out and infect everybody. That's what the comeback will be from a lot of people. No, not really. But if you're vaccinated, why the hell do you care if I'm not vaccinated? And then you'll come back with, but what about the immunocompromised people, the ones who can't have the vaccine? Well, if they feel that they're threatened by this virus, that they think it might spread onto them, why should I have to? Why should I have to take a vaccine that I don't believe in, that I don't think is safe? At the end of the day, you've got just as much threat of me passing COVID onto you as you would have in a normal year, where I would possibly pass the flu onto you, which, you know, would cause you the same problems as coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. So no, I mean, if you come back to me with, oh, what, you're happy to go out and kill my grandmother? Well, not really, but I also don't really give a toss, because it's the fact that I'd be just as likely to spread another disease to her as COVID in a normal year, where COVID wasn't the thing of the moment, if you like. Because your grandmother, if she's ill with some sort of compromised immune system, she has underlying health issues, she will be just as likely to die from catching the flu as from COVID. She'd be just as likely to develop pneumonia and die from that. I mean, so I don't mean to sound heartless or anything, but it's the way things work. It's been like that forever and ever and ever and ever. And it will be like that forever until they find a cure for death. Which, I mean, I'm hoping for. I'd like to live forever, but it seems unlikely. So I'm like 40. I'm halfway done with life. I mean, I can get behind that. It's when I'm 80-ish, I'll be probably, if I get there. But if I'm 80-ish, then you know you're in your twilight years. You're on your way out, and much as you don't want to die from some mad disease, you want to die pain-free somewhere quietly and in the night, or most people do. You must be willing to accept that risk, because it's going to happen. And that's just the way of the world, the way of life, the way it is. But yeah, back to the vaccine thing. No thanks. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's tested. Even the mainstream media is talking about like fertility problems in women and all sorts of stuff like that. It's just not needed. It's not necessary. Not to mention that even if you take the vaccine, then they're now saying you're only going to be protected for 3 to 9 months. And that it won't even stop the spread of COVID. It'll only stop the symptoms of COVID. I mean, that's not a vaccine, is it? How on earth is that a vaccine? A vaccine should kill the virus, surely. Isn't that the purpose of the vaccine? Like, to kind of build the antibodies in your body to expel the virus, or to stop it from spreading, you know, stuff like that. So if you take this vaccine, just make sure you do some research. Don't be pressurized into it. Don't feel like you're forced to take it, unless you are forced to take it, which is the definite possibility. And like I said, like a month ago or so in one of my videos, I was talking about vaccine passports and stuff. I mean, that wasn't my idea, obviously. I was just sharing it. I'm not trying to say I invented the thought. It seems like that's kind of where we're headed, to have this little vaccine passport. It's been on the media, on the news here recently. So it won't be made. The vaccine won't be made mandatory by the government. I don't think. It'll be kind of stealthily put in. You can't go to the pub unless you've got your little vaccine card or an app or whatever, you know. You can't go to the restaurant unless you can show your vaccine card or your app. You have to scan in, I would imagine, or something along those lines. You can't go into the shopping centre. You can't go, whatever, wherever you want to go. You can't do it because you haven't had the vaccine. That's where we're headed. I feel like that's where we're going. It doesn't feel like a good place to me, and not a place I want to be, and not a thing I want to be a part of. But what can I do? There's so many people out there. I mean, if you're going onto Facebook or even worse, Twitter, I mean, the people on there, it's poisonous, it's venomous. These people will attack you for anything that can sound like a derogatory thing about COVID or the COVID vaccine or anything at all that's not towing the kind of party line, you know, Big Brother's out there watching. You'll be slammed by a bunch of self-righteous, soy-eating fucking freaks who just can't think critically. They can't think outside the box. Now, I've got no problem at all with people who want to take the COVID vaccine. I mean, it's your choice, do what you want. I've got no problem at all with people who don't even believe COVID's a thing. I mean, even I believe COVID's a thing, but if you don't believe COVID's a thing, then, you know, then you've come to that conclusion yourself, and I'm fine with that. Same as if you believe COVID's a deadly Captain Trips style virus that's out there waiting to butcher the population. I mean, that's fine. You believe whatever you like. I'm happy that you believe that. I'm glad that people have different views and different opinions. It's just it's frustrating that other people don't share that they feel the need to try and stamp all over you, even though in reality these people are worms and they would never say a thing to your face, the majority of them anyway. Yeah, like these people, most of these people on Facebook and that, I mean, they are just losers, idiots, stupid people who don't think for themselves, worker drones maybe, if you like. But anyway, I just thought I'd give me 2 cents worth, you know, use up 10 or 15 minutes of my morning before I go to work and have a little chat to, well, whoever wants to watch this on YouTube, which I'm enjoying making YouTube videos. I haven't got a huge following or anything like that. I don't expect to get a huge following. It's mostly just from your own little gratification, and I just enjoy having a chat with people on YouTube. I say having a chat with people, chatting to the camera. I make videos about all sorts of different things. It can feel a bit pointless doing the YouTube videos because, you know, people aren't really listening, nobody's really watching. But here we are, cracking on with it. I've got to go to work in about 10 minutes, so I'll call it a day here. I'd like to thank you for watching, taking the time to watch it. I mean, happy to engage in comments as always. If you like what you've seen, or if you didn't like what you've seen, drop a comment, drop a like. You know, obviously don't like it if you didn't like it, but you know, like, comment and subscribe, and I will catch you later.